Hey guys, and welcome to COPTRZ CON.
Can't believe it, we made it.
I know, we're here. 41 partners and suppliers involved across 17 events over 2 days with 1,200 people and organizations signed up to watch. Not only that, we're going to be going live over commentary with Facebook and Twitter. So if you can't watch all the great content and speakers that we've got throughout the day, you'll be able to catch up and just get the highlights as it goes out on Twitter and Facebook. Bex, just quickly, where can you follow us? Is it COPTRZ Twitter account? There's no special, and then Facebook, what is it? Just the COPTRZ Facebook page. So you'll be able to follow everything there. And then you never know, you might get some behind the scenes as well. So my name's Kev. I'm one of the directors at COPTRZ, and we have Steve.
I'm Steve, head of sales at COPTRZ, and I'll tell you what, never been a worry as they're setting this up, Kev. We've been flying.
Well, the team have been amazing. And for the opening show, we brought some big guns in. We got Ian from Network X3 and Tommy from Flock Drone Insurance.
Hey.
Morning, chaps.
There we go. So what we'll do is we're going to go through quite a lot of things. There's quite a few people on here as well. We're seeing all the messages come up. We got Richard High from the Scottish borders, the motherland, but that's where I'm from, Scottish as well. But we've just seen someone from Transylvania. Now, we did an interesting story about how birds and eagles are taking drones from the sky. Could you imagine it? Transylvania, do you think it's bats? Boom. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we'll do a quick run through of what we're going to be going across the 2 days. And then we're just going to dive into the story of Ian and Network X3, because there's a lot of organizations looking to adopt drone technology in their businesses. And Ian is just a fantastic roadmap to success, starting from where he did to what he's doing with drone technology now. And Ian has got such a diverse fleet of drones. It's not just one drone that he uses. I believe that you've got the Helios.
Yes.
It's one of the drones. What else have you got, Ian?
With an Inspire, an Helios, 2 Mavics, an Evolved Dynamics drone now. We've got quite an interesting fleet, a growing fleet of drones.
Amazing. So we're going to be diving into that because each drone has its own application and use, and you use it not just for improving your operations, but a big driver for you as well, Ian, was the health and safety of your team going into really confined spaces, dangerous spaces.
Yeah, we do a lot of confined space stuff using the Helios, the Helios 2. But we use all our drones. We use them in so many different scenarios. Health and safety is a big issue for us, which I think it is for everybody now. We do a lot of inspections where people don't want to, or companies don't want to send engineers in, etc. We've got a couple of large COVID inspections coming up in the next few weeks where the cost and the dangers of doing it, it's a no-brainer to use a drone. Drone technology is the way forward.
Absolutely. You know what? We completely agree. We did not bring them in. This is not a plan. It's like we believe that drone technology is the way forward.
Can I just correct you? It's the company's called Networks 3.
Yeah,
not Network X. That was a porn channel in the 80s.
Ian, why did you tell me that when we were talking through?
Why not?
That's live. You deliberately stitched me up. That's how I've always pronounced it for over a year.
Gotta be done.
Cool. So, and then we'll go on to Tommy as well, because Flock Drone Insurance, you are working with some and covering some amazing organizations doing amazing things with drone technology as well. Is that right, Tommy?
Yeah, indeed, very much so. Good morning to everyone, by the way. Thanks for everyone joining in. I can see throughout the UK and further afield. But yes, no, that's right. Flock, we're data-driven specialist drone insurance providers, and we work with a variety of different drone operators in the UK and further afield that range from single operators who are, going on a pay-as-you-fly basis, all the way through to insuring some of the most complex and innovative drone fleets out there. So I can touch on that in a little bit more detail later on.
Perfect. Thanks, Tommy. So what we'll do now is let's run through what the 2 days are going to entail, Steve.
Let's go for it.
I mean, we're starting now. You're going to have Steve and I opening each day with a hour slot. Today, we've got special guests. But tomorrow, what we'll be doing is we'll be recapping and just bringing some of the highlights from day one, as well as looking forward to day two as well. So quick run through of what we got on today?
That's it, yeah. So obviously us from 9 until 10 o'clock this morning, we're going to be running through with Tommy from Flock, with Ian from Networks 3.
Yeah, I loved your pause there.
Yeah, thank God it's not Network X.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. It's like, I can't believe you knew it was actually a porn channel. Did you do that when you were doing your brand research? So what am I going to call my business? Well, we know that the drone industry is a male dominated porn channel. Yes, let's use that, bring it together.
Brilliant. Exactly. So we've got frustrated from that. Then we get a half-hour pause. We've got a room set up, which will set the link, which we're going to have live feeds. Please, after any of these webinars, jump into that room. We've got our UAV strategists answering any questions that you can. A little bit closer. Maximum of 8 people allowed in the room. Let's be short, sharp. So get in, get out, and just ask the questions you may have. So that'd be brilliant.
You can ask questions now, though, if you put them in the chat. If you've got questions for Steve, myself, Tommy, or Ian, put them in the chat or in the questions section, and then we'll make sure that we ask them. So Tony Ling, are all the events being recorded so we can play back in our own time? Absolutely, yes. We're going to package them all up, and you'll be able to access them after the event. Not a problem there. What we'll also be doing as well is we've got a resource centre, which you can find at COPTRZ CON /resources. And in there, you're going to have everything from, if you're looking at drone training, you'll get all those resources. If you're looking at buying specific drones, or you want to book you want to have a look at the surveying, drones for surveying buying guide, you can access everything there, as well as previous webinars that we've done before. So, moving on, straight after this, we've got the M300 RTK for drone inspection. So all that mastering it, that's going to be with our very own George Burns. That's going to kick off at 10:30 to 11:15.
Then we've got drones with surveying, and that's with our very own Jim Pick.
The Jim Pick.
Famous.
But what's really cool about that is we've got James Wardlow from Phase 1, Chris York from Buckingham Group, and Simon Judd from Precision Air Survey. So some real big organisations using drones in the surveying space. And then obviously Jim as well, who probably is the industry leader in terms of expert knowledge using
Jim
drones.
is the leading expert in the UK when it comes to drones with surveying. He's a surveyor by trade himself and adopted drone technology a long time ago, and now he works with us at COPTRZ, advising large organisations on how they can best implement drone strategy. But then we go straight into one with Jamie and Chris Flanagan, which is completely on the other spectrum. Chris, ex-military, started a drone business, security business from scratch with COPTRZ about 18 months ago, and Jamie's helped him. But Chris has helped us really pave the way as well for how to create a successful drone career from not flying drones before. So really looking forward to that one as well, and that will really give people the idea on how they can start their own business and project their own business that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's called How Chris Built a Drone Business in 12 Weeks. So if you are a drone entrepreneur or looking to start a business, a drone business, then that is not to be missed. Then we go into I'm quite excited about this one as well. I'm excited about it all, but this one's called Eye in the Sky Defense Summit, and it's featuring Brigantes, Lorenz Technology, Typhon, and Planck. And this is all about looking at the technology that's being used for public safety. So military, police, emergency services, and we've got some amazing technology in there. And we'll be talking about everything from the Parrot and Apple USA, and then Planck and Typhon, and all these things that just integrate with it to create this amazing ecosystem that can do just amazing things. So we'll be talking about that, and then Lorenz Technology as well. Yeah. So they're already out on the market, and they're going to be talking about their product, which is it's great for port security, Lorenz Technology. And what this does, it's an AI link that will actually live stream recorded data around the perimeter of a fence, for example. Don't give it all away. Don't give it all away.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
You put them all together, and it's unbelievable what all this drone tech can do. So it's not just Parrot, it's not just DJI, it's not just Wingtra, it's all the ancillary companies, the tech companies, and the software companies that are getting involved in this next 2 days as well. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, big time. And then straight after that, we go into the Helios 2, which Ian's currently using. So we'll talk about that in this show as well. But at 4 p.m, we're going access all areas with the Helios 2, with Junior from Flyability, and Anna from Raptor UES. So this is really cool because Gino is, oh man, is there anyone more knowledgeable in the drone industry than Gino? He knows a lot, doesn't he?
knows a lot.
And his drone is like, this is the ultimate confined space inspection drone. So if you are looking to adopt this into your operations, then you don't want to miss that. Then straight after we have 5:30.
That's it. How to scale up your drone career with Peter Taylor and Aaron Goodwill. So Aaron started a company, a roofing contract company years and years ago, and then about 12 months ago adopted drone technology, which has really seen him level up his business. So it's not always about starting a drone business. It's not always about drones is everything you do. It's about how it can enhance your business and become like another tool in the toolbox, really. So
Absolutely.
that'd be really great.
And then we finish with, and this is titled, You're a Drone Pilot, Now What? And this is at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's with Harry Crawford and Steve Jason from COPTRZ Academy. Because this is one of the things that we see all the time, and we hear it's like people want to start a drone business, and you see all the market out there, and there's everything, and it's like, right, I've got my GVC, I'm just going to start a business. And it's like, no, you can't just start a business by having the GVC. You actually need to know everything else around it. So it's like, how to run a business. So, I mean, that would help as well. So all that information. So those guys are going to be going through all that. And that's how we're going to end the day. And then we're going to go into day 2. But what I'm thinking is, let's not talk about day 2 just now.
No, we've done that.
Yeah, we did it yesterday, but we haven't done it today. But what we'll do is, let's bring Ian in. Because, like we said at the start, Ian is a massive roadmap to success in terms of how to adopt drone technology into your operations from start to finish. And there's what we're really interested in, Ian, is finding out the high points, the low points, any barriers, any mistakes or dead ends that you went down that you can just inform or educate the people that are listening at the moment who are thinking, you know what, I want to adopt the drone technology into my business, and I really want to know how to do it. So let's go from there, Ian. That was quite a wide canvas to go from. But let's start right at the beginning. When did you first decide that you wanted to adopt drone technology into your business? What put the thought into your head?
I'm basically, guys, I'm a workaholic. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I love business. I love everything. Anything to do with businesses excites me. It's probably one of the only things in life that really floats my boat. The problem with that is you're living it 24 hours a day. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm waking my wife up, telling her about this wonderful new idea I've come up with, which is really impressed about, obviously.
What was it like when you woke up and said to your wife, drones?
Well, that's an interesting point. Yeah, normally it's sheep, but my wife Julie actually bought me a drone for Christmas, and said, "Just go and play with that. Just leave work alone. Let the people at work. You just go and play with drone. You just go and enjoy yourself." I flew it once, and I got really excited, and I thought, "Hold on a minute. I can fit this into our business model." And that's exactly what I did. I learned everything I could.
Ian, what's your business? Just quick overview of what you do.
Networks 3 was set up in 2003. We're an infrastructure company. We install fibre optics and blown fibre optics. In 2003, nobody knew what fibre optics were. It's only because of Virgin and BT. Everybody knows about it now. Mm-hmm. But we specialised in government contracts, so we do a lot of work. Even today, we still work in the same areas. What we specialised in, which is military, blue light, national government, Ministry of Justice, and we installed infrastructure for these different organisations. What I saw when I flew a drone was we can use this one for health and safety when we're outside. So we could check sites out before we actually send engineers in to do a job. I also looked at it and thought we could survey with this equipment, because we do a lot of overland installations. We install fibre optic cables on the top of electrical pylons, etc. And we needed to go out there and find out, where do these pylons, what routes do they follow? what is in between those two pylons? Is there a house? Is there a farm? Is there a dike? We need to know that before we send engineers onto the ground. So drones was really a no-brainer for us.
Absolutely. It sounds like it fits in so well there. It's like obvious now, isn't it? How long ago was that, Ian?
I'm going to say 2016.
Yes, you were one of the really first adopters of drone technology there, weren't you? 2016.
Yeah, trailblazer. Ian, have you ever been called a trailblazer before?
No, I've been called a lot of things, but never.
Don't repeat it. You're a trailblazer, though. 2016. So you've been right at the start. So what was your first drone that you brought into your business?
Phantom 3.
And now, how many drones do you have in your fleet?
Still flying. We've probably got, I think we've got 6 drones still flying. We've retired a couple. They're nailed to the wall in my office.
Which ones? Which ones?
Which ones have we retired?
Yeah, which ones you nailed to your wall? It's like a drone graveyard. It's where all the drones go.
Phantom, the early Mavics, the Inspire. That took some hanging.
Yeah, I bet. Do you know what? Turn it into a nice chandelier. The Inspire. Just have it hanging down.
Well, you can turn them into clocks now. You can turn them into all sorts of interesting things.
Yeah, exactly.
As we've moved on, and what I'd say to anybody who's thinking of starting a drone business, buy the best drone you can afford, but make sure, and Tommy's going to love this, make sure you're well insured and you're well looked after. Make sure you've got all your boxes ticked.
Look at that.
It's going to cost you if you don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a person who lost an Helios 2, I can tell you I was glad we were insured.
Yeah, the Helios 2. What was the last drone that you brought, Ian?
The last drone we bought?
Yeah, brought into your operations.
The Evolved Dynamics Sky Mantis.
Amazing. So you've got a real breadth across your whole fleet.
We're in a very lucky position because we're lucky enough to be able to do this. I remember starting out back in 2003. We didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, but luckily we've got to a stage now with the company where we can afford to buy what we want to buy, and we're not dictated to by finances in a lot of cases, which is great for us. But everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, would you say that now that you've got drones into your business, did it revolutionise your business, the way you operated? Yeah,
without a doubt. I mean, it just changed the dynamic straight away, because rather than sending a guy, I can give examples, but I don't want to name names particularly. But we could send a guy to South Wales for 2 or 3 days. He'll take a tent. Quite literally, he'll camp in the middle of nowhere because he's following routes of cables. Yeah. With a drone, what would take 3 days now takes a day. Less.
Amazing. Does that guy miss his field trips in the tent? Have you taken that away from him? Yeah. That was his little break from the wife and kid.
Gary is not happy about that. He likes it.
And I tell you what, so let's bring Tommy in here and let's have a discussion. So, Ian, don't feel like you need to answer any of these questions if it's going into too much depth. But I'm just curious. You've got this fleet. How much would that cost to insure for an organisation? What's that costing you a year? And Tommy, it's like, what would you need to do to insure a fleet like that? Just for people to understand, because you use them for a lot of different applications. Ian, you got different drones, a number of different pilots. Operating in different areas of the country. Yeah. What does the insurance entail for that?
Can I, just before you go to Tommy, if I can jump in on that, we'd sit down with Tommy and say, look, this is our fleet. This is what we're going to use it for. These are our pilots. This is the experience. Because there's the thing is with drones at the moment, there's new jobs coming along all the time. We got one yesterday and we'd never heard of it before. We thought, well, that's different. Yeah, we'll try it. But
what job is this, Ian? What job is this?
Can't tell you, I'm afraid, signing an NDA. But we got to Tommy and said to Tommy, right, this is what we're planning on doing. So Tommy's the expert on insurance. He will fit the insurance around the jobs we're doing.
Amazing.
You, Tommy.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great intro. And the way we kind of approach insurance is tailored towards the operator and what type of operations they're doing. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we take a data-driven approach to insurance. And what I mean by that is that we look to take a mixture of data provided by the customer, so an understanding of their drones, the pilots, the experience, the level of competency they have, and then an understanding of the operations they're conducting. And we will create a risk profile there, which will enable us to price the insurance based on the exposure to risk, rather than just a fixed number, regardless of how experienced they are, how safety conscious they are, how much preparation, planning, refresher courses they send their pilots to, etc. We want to really incentivize good behavior and good risk mitigation within a company. So we'd really kind of take that consultative approach, almost, of sitting down with Ian, understanding his requirements, his fleets, the environments he operates in, the pilots he has, the potential for growth over time. And then off the back of that, we crunch it through our proprietary risk intelligence engine, which allows us to quantify that risk, give it a score from 0 to 100, and then off the back of that, we're able to price the policy for them.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you said something really interesting, a data-driven approach. And a lot of people, I mean, what we've been speaking about with Ian there is the actual pilots going out and inspecting hard-to-reach areas and how it's shortened the inspection and surveying process for you guys, and the health and safety around it. But also, data is king in the drone industry. It's not just about getting the hardware and then putting it up there. It's about how you operate the software. It's the quality of the images. It's how you store it, packaging, get it to the key stakeholders, and how quickly you can do that. So it's really interesting to hear that you guys are doing a data-driven approach to it as well.
Yeah, and I think Ian could probably talk more to the capture elements of the capture side of things and the processing of that particular data. But that's a really interesting ecosystem that's really grown over the last few years now, where there's so many different interesting solutions available. But from our perspective, the data we're gathering is only going to get more and more granular as we move over time. If you think about the connected auto market, the motor market, where you can fit a black box into your car and it will feed in literally your driving behavior back to your insurance provider, you can then start to see, oh, well, I see after 12 o'clock you don't mind speeding, so I'm going to dock you, or I'm going to increase your premium here. Well, actually, I can see that over 1,000 miles you've actually had stellar driving behavior, so we should be rewarding you with cheaper premium because you are a safe operator. Those are the kind of data. At the moment, we look at more exposure-based data, so, third party in and around the time of flight, the hyperlocal weather conditions, the building density, the population density at that time of day. The future of this is even more connected. We'll get even more data straight from the systems themselves that will allow us to really understand how people, driving or flying behavior, I should say, similar to what we're already seeing in the motor space.
Sorry, how do we go around getting like a ballpark figure? So say I've got an Inspire, I'm using it for, just filming, photography, that sort of thing. How do we go around just getting a ballpark quote? Do we need to speak to you? Is there an online system that we can go on, much like an insurer?
Yeah. So of course you can always speak to us. We've got a great customer success team that will be happy to field any calls, and we've got a chat feature on the website. But we also do have a quote portal that you can just log into on the smaller side of things. So anything under 50k of equipment value, and if you need under 10 million public liability, you can get an instant quote through the website. So we'll ask you a few questions. It will ask you the make and model of the drone, the details of your insurance requirements as well as the pilots you have, and then it will give you a quote, and you can choose to do that either on a per flight basis, so 1 to 8 hours on a location of your choice. You can do it on a rolling monthly basis, so a subscription model similar to your Netflix, your Amazon Prime, where you buy it renews on the same day every month until you pause or cancel, but no long-term commitments. And then we've got an annual product which does lock you in for a year, but it allows you to make adjustments as you need to straight through the customer portal, because everything we do at Flock is digital. We want things to be easy, accessible online, and that can be through a mobile app or through a web app on your desktop. That's
fantastic. We've got a question. It's all about that easy first step, isn't it? Making it accessible, but as accessible as possible for people to just get it. So that easy first step, so there's no barriers to people flying without insurance or with insurance.
Yeah.
Right, we got a question. I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, Tommy, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. It's from Marie Claire Rackham Mann. So, Maria, I don't know if I pronounced your name right, but Marie Claire, if you could give us some more detail. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the question and see if get Tommy going. But it's, what's the typical cost of a policy for an archaeological work?
Ooh.
Now, I think we need some more details, right? We need to know what they're doing, the drones, the equipment, the pilots.
Yeah.
But what kind is? Are we talking like Indiana Jones looking for the crystal skull?
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Drones.
Well, we already know where they are now. It seems obvious on its wall.
So in this case, we would, as I said, we would need a bit more detail, just obviously on what you're looking to ensure, the systems that you'd have, the public liability elements that you'd need. What I would say, though, is that traditional archaeological work happens in fairly remote areas at low risk. So we would look to take that into consideration when we price that, particularly if you use our per flight app, where you actually pick a flight radius of 500 meters, and it will calculate the price in real time depending on the environment. So it'll identify if there's a train station, a school nearby, a busy district in and around the area. When, I'd imagine most of the sites we're doing, a few included, probably are fairly remote, so that would definitely play in your favour.
I tell you what, Tony, you just said something interesting there, because normally when you used the car industry as a comparison earlier, and normally when you get car insurance, you've got to take it out for a year. But what you're actually talking about as well is there is types of insurance where you can just take it out per flight, or per job, or per operation. So it's another easy first step.
Yeah, so I think one of the key factors for us when we were entering the space was that we know that the drone market is a nascent one, right? So we know that people are still getting up and running and taking sometimes baby steps. Sometimes it's not their full-time job, and they'll be on the side, slowly getting to grips, training, practicing, getting the correct qualifications to be out operating. So then whacking them instantly, with a year-long commercial policy isn't right for everybody. So we wanted to really do a suite of different products that go from that per flight to monthly to annual, so that there's real flexibility for everybody involved. For example, you can, let's say you've got a busy month, you've got a few jobs that are already booked in, you're going to be flying a lot, you can hop onto a monthly version of that. But then, in the summer, when things open up, you're away in Spain for 2 weeks, a monthly policy, you're not going to be flying that much. So maybe it's worth pausing that for a moment, hopping back into a pay-as-you-fly side of things. So really the aim is for this to be as flexible as possible, because we know drone operators, their needs change quite quickly. Sometimes they grow, sometimes it pauses. So we want to make that journey as simple as possible for them.
No, that's great. And there's quite a few people asking for the contact details for Tommy Wilson Flock, so you might get some requests coming in for insurance, Tommy.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I can type some answers. So maybe I can. We'll get
the team to put it in, maybe not your contact details. We might put your website details in there, or do you want your exact contact details going in? We'll get the team to do it.
Yeah, I'm happy for my contact details to go in there.
Perfect.
Most definitely.
Great. Right, one last question on this, on insurance, before we flip back to Ian. So, Emil Reynolds has asked, as an insurer, what changes have you had to make to align with the new drone rules that came in on the 31st of December? So, drone laws changed, drone regs changed. Everybody who operates a drone needs to be registered. That came in from last November. And then 31st of December, the regs changed in terms of the type of drone that you're flying. You could just be okay, or you might need to have the A2CC or other, i.e. the GVC, to operate legally.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So obviously it was a momentum shift for the industry as a whole, where we moved, from the PFCO to the latest sort of tiered levels of qualification, if you want. From our perspective, it's a good thing in a lot of ways, because we're getting a better understanding of competencies of pilots and competency levels of pilots. So that allows for us to have a more granular understanding of the risk, of a basic competency versus, say, a specific category of GVC. The difference in risk is fairly considerable there. So internally for us, and the way that we start to quantify that risk, it's made a huge impact. And I think it's you know, I know it's a divisive topic somewhat across the space, but I think it's been a move, in my mind, it was necessary to have slight distinctions really in the levels of competency. It seemed ludicrous that, you know, a PFCO would equip you to, you know, shoot a wedding somewhere in the UK, but you could also go and operate on an oil rig with the same sort of permission for commercial operations. So being able to have, you know, distinctions there and levels of competency, I think is a welcome one, and hopefully everybody will eventually come around to the idea.
Yeah, amazing. Brian Gavin has just put a comment in the chat saying, I got excellent assistance from Emily at Flock in the last couple of days.
Oh,
so
there's
a ringing endorsement, Tommy, to Flock.
Well, I know Emily's listening this morning, actually, so I'm sure she will be delighted hearing that from her laptop.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
She just named herself Brian. Is that
is that what's happening?
We're getting catfished.
Yeah, we're getting catfished. Ian, do you know what? In terms of when you first started out, Ian, we get a lot of questions, and we even get this now. And it's people starting a drone business, or they're adopting drone technology into the business. And the most common question we always get asked is, what can you charge for this? Is it hourly, daily? I mean, can you give us some ballpark figures to help people out? Because it's not just in terms of in the inspection space, but just in general. Because with anything that's new, people, it's not just for the people that are using the drone technology. It's also for companies that want to get the benefits of it. It's like they even come to say, what is actually a good price? We've got these quotes, but we don't know what the right value is. So it comes from both ends. And just going back to what Tommy was saying in terms of the level of competencies, you hear it a lot when we speak to people. They talk about cowboys operating in the drone industry, where and you've just done the best example. It's like, I've got an A2CC and they're operating on oil rigs. I mean, that's like in a massive extreme. I mean, you've got to question the oil company that would let someone an A2CC on. You know,
we speak to people who that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do. We're going, I can't endorse this.
No. You shouldn't be doing that. But could you give us any kind of guidance, Ian, without giving away your rates? Obviously.
No, okay. Yeah. I mean, we operate a flexible system, and we have since the inception of Networks 3 anyway. So what we'll do is we look at every job on an individual basis. But if you're setting up your own company, what you've got to bear in mind is you've got to take all the cost factors into consideration when you're pricing a job. So there's a price of the drone, the cost of insurance, the cost of the vehicle insurance, etc., etc., etc. You put it all together, and then you want your write-off period. So, for instance, at Networks 3, we will write off a drone after 3 years. So our Elias 2 will basically be scrapped 3 years after it was bought and will be replaced with another drone. So we need to that drone has to pay for itself and make profit over that period. So what we do is we divide that up: the cost of the drone over 3 years, the cost of a vehicle to put it in, the cost of an operator, and everything what goes with that operator, and then we price the job accordingly. And I think if everybody sticks to that same game plan, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, amazing. And then, I mean, do you hear it quite a lot when you're pricing jobs? Do you hear about? Because we get this a lot as well about people are going in and they're just bottoming out the market with ridiculously low quotes, and then what happens is the company that's wants the work done doesn't get what they expected delivered, and then vice versa. It hurts the wider market.
This is across every industry in the world. You're always going to get somebody who's feeding along the bottom as cheap as possible.
Yeah,
you get what you pay for. If you turn up and you look professional, you're in your nice new van, or as the best van you could possibly turn up in. Your nice uniform, your health and safety is good. Your insurances are all in date. People are going to use you. Companies will use you.
I'm glad you've said that, Ian, because we do get that a lot. And,
we
ask people who are starting their own businesses and looking at creating, And
I think the other temptation is, especially when you're just starting out, somebody will come back to you and say, oh, I've been offered it for £200 cheaper. it's very, very tempting to say, okay, I'll match it. You can't match it. You've got to stick to your guns. You've got to be professional and say, look, you're paying for a professional service. I'm a professionally trained operator. I have the right equipment. I have the right insurances. If this guy comes along and crashes into a crowd of people, who's going to pay for that? You've got to be there, and you've got to tell them what it's all about and what how you operate and why it would be you.
We have a responsibility. I mean, when you think about it, it's still a new technology. So the people that are operating have a responsibility as well to educate and bring other industries along with us. I think what's interesting about what you said there is, Ian, it's like when you start cutting your prices to compete with other people like you, what actually happens, and this isn't just in drugs, like you said, across all of the other industries, you are actually giving the perception out of, well, you don't actually value your work or how you operate at that price because I've just managed to get 200 quid off.
That's very well put.
And that's how it is. And we're the same. It's like, no, this is the value. This is the worth. So completely agree on that one. And Al Hall says, wise words from Ian.
That's it. And that's the other thing, I think.
That was in my life.
I think what we say all the time, and that's what we've got Jamie who helps a lot of business get off the ground. That's what we constantly saying. We always get asked, how much do you charge for this? How much do you charge for that? Well, it's not about the cost, is it? It's the value that you can provide.
It's the value, yeah.
Exactly. So, and don't get me wrong, it's a tricky situation to get in. If you've got a large customer that you're desperate to win, and someone comes in and says,
of course,
they want to knock me £300-400 off. But do you know what? You've got to stick to it. And if you can actually show that customer, the potential customer, the value that you can offer, no wonder they're going to pay £300-400 for.
It's very, very difficult to walk away from a job. Even now, even after we've been operating nearly 20 years, it's still difficult to walk away from a job. But it's something you've got to learn to do. And you've got to learn to do it politely. We do it all the time. Okay, we're too expensive. You know where we are. If you ever need us, pick up the phone.
Absolutely. I think, do you know what you find as well is if you're quoting and that company goes with the cheaper option, and I mean a ridiculous cheaper option, what we tend to find is that company will come back 8 months, 9 months later and say, yeah, you were right. Always happens. It was like, yeah, you were right. I made a mistake. Yeah.
And do you know what? Do you know what? The secret part of it, they're going, get in. Yeah,
of course.
So there's a long-term gain as well. It's like you may lose the battle initially, but it's when you've got to look long-term when it comes to building your drone business or how you charge out. You cannot get caught in the short-termism.
Look, guys, if you're starting a business, there's ups and downs. There's twists in the road all the way along. Again, I'm going to say, after 18 years, I've come a long way, not just in the drone industry, just in general in business. But I've been at Tesco on a Friday night thinking, can I afford this shopping? Because I haven't had that good a week. I've been there and done that. And to be fair, if you're starting a business, you've got to be prepared to go through that. This is going to happen to you. You're going to have difficult days. Now, I'm going to say to you, and I'd say to anybody, if anybody's ever in that position, pick up the phone, ring somebody like me or somebody like Tommy, talk to other people about it, because there's a wealth of information out there. It might be useless information. It might just be the fact that you can actually just pick up the phone and talk to somebody, and somebody says, we've been there, mate. We know what you're going through. And you'll get over it. Things will improve because it's a bumpy road you're going down.
That's great advice, Ian. Just outside of drones, just great life advice, really. It's like, it's a moment in time. You know what I mean? You're going to have highs and lows. So I guess what you're talking about is just pick up the phone, get a support network, and then just go from there.
I mean, the amount of times, and you'll have heard it yourself, I talk to people, I say, are you busy? Oh, busiest year I've ever had. No, it's not. We just come through COVID-19. Can we just start discussing this properly? Nobody's having a busy year. Last year was terrible, but it's going to improve.
Yeah.
Just accept it and move on. But for people out there, it sets you back when you listen to people and people are telling you what a wonderful year they've had, and they actually haven't. So let's be. You've got to try and be realistic. You know, we've all gone through difficult times. COVID has been a really difficult time. The drone industry and COVID at the same time has pretty much been a disaster. But the drone industry is going to take off. There's going to be a lot of work out there. It's the place to be. I'm still buzzing about it now. It's fantastic.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks, Ian. We've gone through running through the event, the 2 days, all the different speakers and partners have got involved, through to how to adopt drone technology into your business, to learn about insurance, and flipping back to some solid life advice. There's been a few books as well. No, it's great, Ian. It's because that's the part that often gets missed. It's like you've got to run a business as well.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I think the theme. The theme of the few days, which I can see, is it's not just about the drone, is it? It's like the advice there you're giving in. It's you've got a drone, you've got a business, great. You've got this new, world that you're going to step into. Yes. You're going to have highs and lows, and it's about getting down in the dirt and really working hard to get yourself out of them. But you know what? Being happy when you're living when you're living the best life, earning the good money, getting the new drone, flying the Helios. Yeah, I mean, that must have been a low moment when you lost that one, Ian. Blimey.
I had to fly an Helios badly, yeah. I can laugh about it now. I didn't laugh about it at the time.
No, we're going to ask you where we lost it and how you lost it, but let's just do a little recap of the event over the 2 days.
Absolutely.
So let's just go right to the start again. We've got 2 days, 17 events. Over 40 partners and suppliers and customers getting involved, and we've got over 1,200 people tuning in. Now, it's not just the different events that are happening across the 2 days. We've got live commentary happening on the COPTRZ Twitter and Facebook page, which is great. We've got a resource center which people can go to called COPTRZ CON /resources, where you can get loads of great material information on the different types of training, to our surveying guide that covers all the drones, so the technology, the software, the training, and even the support that you would need to get started. We've got People's Choice Award as well, so we're actually finishing. Yeah, how can we forget about this?
Not touched on that yet.
Yeah, we're actually finishing the 2-day event with an awards ceremony. But you're actually judging.
We've got some cracking hosts on that.
Yeah, all right. There's other people as well. We've got Richard from Awards and Adam Watkins from Era Media, and that you can still submit
until 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah,
nominations
exactly. Nominations, yes. So there's a lot of different awards. So go if you want to have a chance of being the best, then go for it. Now, we've also got straight after this, in between every single show or event, a live room for 8 people to just link into with the chat. I'll get the team to pop it into the chat now. So you can only hold 8 at a time, but if you want to have an intimate conversation with any of the guys, Steve and myself, ask some questions, then just jump straight into it. We will be here ready to chat, because we've chatted quite a lot. I know. It's been great. So quick run through. This show is the opening, and straight after we're mastering the M300 RTK for drone inspections with George Burns. That's at 10:30 to 11:15 British Standard Time.
Then we've got drones and surveying with Jim Pick. Yeah.
And that's also with James Wardlow from Phase 1, Chris York from Buckingham Group, and Simon Judd, Precision Air Service. Some heavy hitters there that are already using drones in that space. So that'll be really interesting. So anybody who is interested in using drones within that sector, you do not want to miss this.
Exactly. Flip that again, though, for the next one. If you've never used drones before, if you're just starting out with drones, or even if you're just adopting drones into your organisation, how Chris built a drone business in 12 weeks. Chris Flanagan's a customer of COPTRZ. He came to us 18 months ago, asked a little bit of advice, and now it's fair to say he's given us advice on the great things that he's using drones for.
Absolutely. And how Chris built a drone business in 12 weeks. So from zero to hero.
Exactly.
Amazing. And then we've got, by the way, guys, in chat, what will be really interesting is, can everybody just pop in chat, show what events they're looking most forward to over the next 2 days? It'd be really great to see that. And then we have, straight after Chris, we're going into 2:30 p.m. Eye in the Sky Defence Summit with Brigantes, Lorenz Technology, Plant, Typhon, and we're going to be talking not just about the drones and the amazing technology, but also the ecosystem that goes around it.
That's it.
Within the public safety space.
This is exciting, even if you're not in the military. It's brilliant.
Well, police as well.
Police, exactly. And then also security, because there is a crossover here. It was difficult to actually pick who's going to go in the public safety, who's going to go in the eye in the sky defence, you know, because there's sort of such a crossover. So if you're interested in public safety, also tune into Eye in the Sky. Definitely worthwhile.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what's really cool is we're going to be talking about some drone technology that isn't even out on the market yet. How cool is that?
Yeah.
It's going to be, I can't wait for that. And then we're going straight into Elios 2 Uncovered with Flyability and Raptor UAS. So we've got Anna from Raptor UAS and Junior from Flyability.
One of these.
Hang on, that's how robust it is. We've done some amazing tests with the Elios 2, man. I'm not going to say we went as far as using it in a football match, but it is robust. But you'll find out more, and Ian will be able to tell you more about it as well, because he's actually using it in real life scenarios.
Using it or losing it.
Yeah. Love that. And then we're going into 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're closing the show. You're a drone pilot. Now what? So there's a great variety for everyone there. Now, let's go. We've got 15 minutes left of the opening show. Now, what I want to do is flip back to Tommy. So we know that you can't go into the details of, because I really wanted to grill Tommy on some of the weirdest and wonderful claims that you see if we could get some of those Richard Gere or what's that, Sharon Osbourne, Izzy Osbourne, ate my parrot kind of quote, Tommy ate my drone kind of stories. We're not going to get that. What we're going to do, but what we are going to talk about, which I think is equally cool, is the types of organisations that you're insuring in some of the different applications. So you're doing everything from the NHS to those amazing light shows that you would have seen at New Year's to replace fireworks. So go for it, Tommy.
Yeah, no, sure. I can definitely jump into some of the use cases. And yeah, no, it's been we as an insurance provider, we're very much an enabler, right? So we're there to help operators go and operate, sometimes in very weird, wonderful environments. So we do see some pretty interesting use cases put to us from people asking us to insure hoverboards to flying car prototypes in the UK or in Europe, through to what used to be considered fairly alien 3 years ago, which was drone deliveries. And this year has been a huge landmark year, I think, for drone deliveries in particular. And the flights we insured were through Skyports, who were partnered with the NHS to reduce the time to reach some of the more remote isles in Scotland. So the aim was essentially to be able to reduce the time for medical deliveries to these remote locations from 6 hours to roughly 15 to 20 minutes. So that's the kind of gap we're talking about.
Yeah, Tommy, sorry to jump in. Are you doing that with drone prep?
Yes, so drone pepper involved as well, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Isle of Mo. We were speaking to drone prep a couple of days ago.
They're on
amazing.
And they're on the lineup as well, aren't they? I think is Gareth tomorrow?
Well, no, they're actually in Scotland. So what we had to do was a live recording of a pre-recording. So we're going to show highlights of it. And that's actually going to be some exclusive content we're going to be putting out, because that was really cool. We did a pre-recording. They're actually in sunny Scotland, which wasn't really sunny at that point. In this place, the curtains are amazing behind them, but that's not really. But the backdrop and everything. So they are. It looks Scottish. I will say that it's a very Scottish room, and it's with Gareth and Emily. So we talk about a lot of things in that pre-recording, from what you've just discussed there to drone ports. Yeah, now, a lot of people might not know this, but this is all linked, like drone ports, kind of like airports and everything, where drones are going to come in, land, shipping, and there's like 5 or 6 of them popping up across the UK. So there's loads of cool stuff.
The future is here.
It's not the future anymore, is it? It's here.
It's real. Talking of ports, actually, there's one thing if people want to tune into this week that's happening in Scotland as well, at Port Monrose, where Hero Tech 8, who are a drone in a box solution, really innovative company, and they are they are trialing essentially ship to port drone deliveries. So being able to speed up that process, and it's the first instance where we're getting those trials, which are going to be based around medical deliveries, including, I believe, some COVID-19 test kits as well. So so that's happening this week. So I believe there's some press that's gone out. I saw some stuff on a few websites yesterday. So yeah, tune in for that later this week as well.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's who George has helped here at Tech 8 sort of establish their drone solution as well. So that's something really cool. I'm sure if anyone wants to ask any questions more about that, feel free to ask. We'll be able to give a little bit more details.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're nearing the end of the opening of the 2-day event. So what I think we should do is, because we focused a lot on day 1, let's just do a quick run through of what's happening on day 2, because that's just as cool. So, look who it starts with, 9 a.m. Steve and Kev again. But we'll be doing a great recap. And then at 10:30 a.m., we are doing a Drones in Energy Summit featuring Northumbrian Water, Rigmar, Severn Trent Water, and Caroline from Network 3 is back. So, yeah, she's on it at 10:30. So there is a lot of great stuff that's happening. And even if you're not a water company, it's Energy Summit. So I know we've got Severn Trent Water and Northumbrian Water, but they're using, like a great fleet of drones to do all kinds of amazing things. So you definitely want to tune into that.
They're ahead of the curve. It's amazing what they're using them for.
Yeah.
They sort of brought different applications, bringing in methane detectors and methane sensors
on drones.
It's
all great
sort of stuff. Yeah.
So what we're going to have is we're going to have Greg Barrett from Northumbrian Water, Amanda from Sellafield, Duncan from Severn Trent Water, and Caroline from Network 3. Now Caroline is she probably one of the best drone pilots in the UK, Ian?
I wouldn't like to say it.
I think she is. You guys are some of the best drone pilots, full stop, right?
I would never say
I
that.
think you are. I think you are.
Think about average.
Yeah, definitely. And then straight from that, now this one is really exciting as well. Saving the Environment with Wing Trim Project Seagrass. That's at 11:45 a.m. tomorrow, and that is so cool what they're doing. It's all about tackling climate change. It's on a lot of
that.
minds.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got Terence from Wing Trim, Dr. Richard Lilly from Project Seagrass. Quick 10 seconds on what Project Seagrass is, Steve. Go.
Project Seagrass. Seagrass. 10 seconds. Seagrass is basically around the north coast of Scotland. 70% of it's disappeared. Very short space of time. What they've been doing, Project Seagrass, working with Aberdeen University, I believe, is they've funded a project to have the Wingtro, which is a fixed-wing surveying drone, to survey huge areas of water and the seagrass underneath to find out where it's disappearing and how they can ultimately replant it to help with environmental change.
Amazing. So all about tackling climate change, and that's going to be really cool. And that's with our very own Jim Pitt, and Dr. Richard Lilly from Project Seagrass. Straight after that, we go into live Mavic to Enterprise Advanced inspection with GeoAccess. That's with Mark Coleman from GeoAccess and George Byrne. That's at 1 p.m. tomorrow. That's going to be really cool. So I don't know, we didn't really mention this, did we? We're doing some live demos. So it's not just going to be people talking. We're actually showing these drones operating. Live inspection with GeoAccess tomorrow. And then we've got a crackerjack. We've got launched in 60 seconds, starring the Parrot and Appy USA, and that's with Acid from Parrot and our very own Sam Dennett. Now, this is why we called it Launch in 60 Seconds is the Parrot and Appy USA game changer. You could go from, I'm going to say out the box, but pretty much you can have that in the air within 60 seconds or under.
You hand launch it.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It goes, yeah, it's amazing.
It's phenomenal. So, real game changer in the public safety.
Definitely. The thermal camera on that's unbelievable. Zooms up incomparable, but also the fact that it's an IP rated. You're not allowed to say waterproof, but it's rainproof. You know, that drone. So for the police, the public sector, military, it's really, really has been a game changer.
And when you think of Eye in the Sky, the Defence Summit, the Parrot and Appy USA, we talk a lot about ecosystem. Parrot are probably one of the best for developing an ecosystem to go around their products.
100%.
100%.
They're not scared to work with different companies, incorporate different ideas. You know, big up Parrot.
Yeah, big time.
I can see as if raining that he's put a note in. That's what I was saying.
Oh, it's because Asif's on. Oh, is Asif listening? Hey, Asif.
Hey. He's typing.
Here we go. And then straight after that, we've got Pix4D. So we talked about it before regarding data, how data is so important within the drone industry. And we've got a session 3:45 p.m. with Jim Pick, the Jim Pick. We missed it. But then Nate Moore from Pix4D and Piera, I always get this wrong. Perangelo from Pix4D, and that's called How to Get the Most Out of Your Survey Data with Pix4D. So that'll be great. And then we go into Drones for Public Safety Summit. We're at 5 p.m. and this is going to be cool as well. We got Blair, Lowland Rescue, we got West Yorkshire Police, we got Norfolk Fire, and we got Randall Warnish from Fleur as well. One of the pioneers really in the drone industry. I mean, he's been pretty much at the start.
Pretty much.
With DJI now with Fleur. So that is really cool. So global industry leader, Randall, when it comes to camera tech.
Definitely. So this one's really great. It's Drones for Public Safety. Like if you didn't catch it earlier, if you're military, police, public safety, security, watch them both the eye in the sky and the public safety. Real good ones for everybody there.
Amazing. And then we close the show with the COPTRZ Recognition Awards, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Some fantastic hosts on that. Probably the best hosts of the whole show. We've got Adam Watkin there, Richard Nicol. Who's that? Oh, it's me as well there. Blair on there as well.
Yeah, that's what you say. That's what you say. So, and then we'll close there. And what's really cool is if you win an award, what do you win?
So if you win an award, you get £1,000 worth of training vouchers.
How many awards are there?
One final award. I'm looking at Kevin. I'm going.
For training. So that's what's going to be happening over the 2 days. Like we said, live commentary on Twitter and Facebook throughout the 2 days. Get involved now. Ask your questions, and we'll be able to answer them. If you want to answer any questions that are happening for shows that haven't yet been, get them in. We'll ask them if we can. We've got a live room for 8 people after this. We've got a resource centre with all the information and collateral you can need. Now, I'd like to say that I think Ian and Tommy are going to be a really hard act to follow. We've opened well. It's like, I mean, I'm looking at everything here, and we've got Ian, amazing guidance, roadmap to success. Really appreciated your honesty as well in terms of what it's like, the journey. You're going to have your highs, you're going to have your lows, especially at the start. But even, it's not just about the start, because life can just throw you some massive curveballs. COVID as one example. Well, it can, can't it? And that's it. But when we said it earlier, and we said it in a bit of jest, but actually in the UK, 2015, you had the idea that you wanted to adopt drone technology into your business because you thought it could revolutionize. So you are a trailblazer. So it's been really great to have you on.
Confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed. No, confirmed. It's been great. We really appreciate you coming on and helping us to open the show.
Brilliant. So
and then we've got Tommy. And then we've got Tommy from And then we got Tommy as well in terms of what's really cool about listening to what you guys are doing at Flop, data-driven. And that is so key. And for me, when you think of the drone industry, there's so many moving parts. And people don't understand when it comes to insurance as well, there's still so much that's not understood yet within the public. So if you think of, I want to say unmanned traffic management, so UTM, so actual drones operating in cities to rural areas, the different type of drones you're going to be using, the regulations have just changed. So to actually be able to ensure with any certainty from you guys, but then also to give the people who are operating the drones and doing the jobs that kind of security and safety in an industry that's still not fully fledged, like a car industry where insurance is the norm. It's pretty bloody impressive.
That's it. But it sounds really straightforward, and that's what's great. And we've passed your details out there now, Tommy, so I'm sure you'll have plenty of people getting in touch with you. Likewise, we've now got the live room, great people, which we'll pop in the chat again. I'll be on there answering any questions for the next sort of 30 minutes as well with another couple of UAV strategies. So if any of you guys who are watching this want a one-to-one, just have any sort of any burning questions that you need to ask myself or one of my team, jump on that, and I'm going to run across to the next room and run on that straight away.
Cool, guys. Ian, Tommy, thank you very much for helping us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for everybody who's tuned in. Loving all the feedback. I'm glad that you enjoyed it as much as us. If we didn't get to your questions answered, we will get to them. Just look for it on the live commentary on the Twitter and Facebook. So any questions we didn't answer in real time, just get on there. The team will answer them for you as much as we can. Great. Guys, thank you very much. Ian, Tommy, see you later.
Cheers.
Guys, enjoy the tour.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.